You're watching Hellbent Holler live, part of the Hellbent Media Network. Grab a drink, settle in, and get ready for the show.
Perfect.
That was good timing.
Yes. Damn. All right. Welcome to Hellbent Holler Live. Let us know you can see us and you can hear us, and we will get started with the show. Check out chat for me, Mr. Joe.
Loud and clear.
Loud and clear. All righty. Boom. All right. We are rocking and rolling. I hope all of you guys are having a great Monday. That sounds counterintuitive, but I hope you're having a great Monday. This is our live show. If you've never been here before, this is our live show that we do every Monday at 7:30 Eastern time. It's a informal hangout with all of our hellbenders, and feel free to jump in the chat and we can kind of cover whatever topics you guys want to cover. Sometimes we come in with stuff prepared, after a particularly strange investigation like we had at Corpsewood. We definitely had a lot to talk about concerning that, but
Jesse's a little sick,
and I'm sick.
Jesse's sick. She got a couple quick things, real quick. Lady Wolf's not here tonight, so she will be back next week, we hope. But she is absent. But that tells you that people are immediately going, "Where's Lady Wolf?
Where is she?
Where's Lady Wolf at?" And ties in with the second thing. Linda Owen asked how the cleanup was coming. Cleanup's mostly done. We got some repair work to do still.
Yeah.
It was insanely time consuming and expensive and a giant pain in the rear. But we ran chainsaws for like 4 days, 12-hour days. And Jesse got sick from inhaling a bunch of sawdust
And
dust
and
and
everything.
irritants and everything.
So I got bronchitis. I got the bronchitis.
Yeah, Jesse's got the
I
bronchitis.
had to go to the doctor yesterday. And yeah, it turns out I have bronchitis. The hits keep coming.
Yep. So
I might stop and cough every now and then. I'll probably, I don't know. I might run out of here if I have to go into a bad spell, but it'll
a
be all
bad
right.
spell.
Mama's having a bad spell.
Real quick, surviving the strange. I ran into a handful of hellbenders at Spooky Empire in Orlando.
Oh, cool.
What is Spooky Empire?
And how did you know they were hellbenders?
And how did you know that they were hellbenders?
We
Give
have
us the
so many
story.
questions.
Empire. What is Spooky?
Not the Patty G. Not the bronchitis.
Oh, it's the dark side of Comic-Con is what that says.
Oh,
I don't
okay.
know. The first thing I'm seeing is people going, did you catch the Blair Witch cast panel? What the hell? That'd be awesome. I guess that was just this past couple of days.
I feel like there is a lot of crossover between Blair Witch fans and Hellbent Holler fans.
Yeah. Surviving the Strange, it's a horror movie convention. Oh, that's right.
Very cool.
Is it in? Let me do that because I've never gone to a horror movie convention.
I've got the Carolina Chainsaw Bronchitis.
The Carolina Chainsaw Bronchitis. So, how did you know they were hellbenders? How did you guys identify each other in the wild? That's pretty wild.
Maybe they can just smell each other.
Yeah,
you know, like it's a pheromone kind of thing.
So anyway, we got the studio going again. We have power. We have internet. We're not running off of phones and battery backups.
Oh, he said that he had his Hellbent Holler shirt on and got stopped 3 times.
Got a freaking town, man.
Hey,
so.
That's pretty awesome.
It spreads. Like I said, we got recognized in a supermarket down near the manor. And then did we ever say that one of the cleanup guys, like when we were doing the cleanup, when we were doing cleanup, one of the workers with one of the contractors that were out came walking up to us when we were out there. You know, we've been going for like, I don't know, 6-7 hours at that point. We're filthy. And he walks up going, Joe, where's Jesse? And I'm going, what the hell is this dude? You know? And he's like, I watch y'all's channel. And we were just like going, get the hell out of town, man. So it's been pretty cool, man.
Yeah,
so,
we got a photo with him, but we can't post it because he was on.
Yeah, he had one of his photo posted up. That's all right.
It's for our private collection
that's
there.
For the private collection. The Blair Witch Trio will be in Lexington for Scarefest. It's like the Blair Witch. First off, the Blair Witch Project's pretty freaking awesome movie. You know what I'm saying?
You know, everybody thought it was real, which was the best like advertising.
Best
campaign
advertising ever.
Ever.
You know and when people ever go, you guys have like Blair Witch vibes,
yeah,
like for our stuff, and I go, that's cool, thank you. First off, but B, yeah, it gets kind of scary out there. Blair Witch Project was terrifying to me. That's one of the few movies I've watched. The only movie, and here's the thing, is because A, we do this stuff, which gets the blood pumping a little bit, and B, I'm paranoid, so I'm always like armed and everything like that.
No.
Oh, yeah, a little paranoid. But the movies that scared me was the first Exorcist scared the holies out of me. Blair Witch Project was scary. Blair Witch Project was scary. It was extremely scary. Although I heard a weird fan theory the other day that, I don't know if you call it a fan theory, but you know, people always have those like alternate theories on stuff that didn't the girl in Blair Witch, didn't she date one of the 2 dudes that she was out there with, if I remember correctly? That basically the thing was they took her out there to terrify her and kill her.
Oh, okay.
Because you don't ever see the one guy dead. You just find the teeth, and then the other guy's in the corner, and then she goes down. That there is no Blair Witch, that the 2 of them just take her out there to basically torture and kill her at that point. So.
Catherine Gay says, a lady I worked with was actually disappointed when she saw the actors at an award show. That was like, I think the MTV award show is when that came out, and they said, we're not dead. And everybody was like, oh my God.
But Cowboy says the same thing. I was cheering for one single bad woman. But yeah, they were very unlikable.
When that came out, so I had like this really cheap, crappy camcorder that my mom gave me. And me and my friends, I would do these videos. I would do like commercials, and I'd have like these little spoof shows, and I'd film them with the camcorder. And I did a spoof like mini movie based on the Blair Witch Project, but it was the Sandwich Project. And we made this really just nightmarish sandwich with like mustard and peanut butter and all kinds of stuff on it, and then put it in the woods. And then I would go and look.
And how old were you doing this?
Like, I don't know, whenever this thing came out. So we went, and like I was over the camera, and I took like a piece of
1999. How old were you in 1999?
I was born in 87.
So you're 12 years old.
I was 12. So I took the camera and pointed it straight up under my nose, under my face, and I put a piece of glass on it. And we just had like the snot and stuff running down. And so that's how I did that shot for that. But I did like a whole sandwich project spoof, and the sandwich like murdered us all, and everything was great.
Slap says mustard is horrifying. Real quick, and then we'll get off the movie things. We ain't Siskel and Ebert. Have you ever seen the last broadcast, which is what they got the idea for the Blair Witch Project on? We'll have to watch that one next. It's actually pretty good.
Please, let's
it's not as polished, you know what I'm saying, but it is last broadcast is some people. I believe it's a news crew. maybe it's like amateur documentary filmmakers, something like that. They go in to film the Jersey Devil, and they go missing, and then they find the footage, and then they're reviewing the footage that was left, just like the Blair Witch. So,
yeah.
Anyway, all right.
I do apologize if I cough through this entire thing. I'm going to try to cough away from the mic.
All right. So what else do we got tonight? We are still catching up on current events because we have been, like I said, we have been full tilt. We're near not the end right now, but we've gotten the majority of the crucial stuff done. We have power, we have internet. That's the good stuff. But we have not been really paying too much attention to current events or cryptid and paranormal current events, except for like just a few things.
We're actually in the middle of prepping up for a really big trip coming up. We've got a lot of equipment that we're putting together. We're going to try out some new stuff, but we've got a really cool.
We've got a big investigation this weekend.
Big investigation.
We went out this past week for a while. Jesse will probably release that soon. We got a few in the can, but she hasn't been able to edit anything together because no internet. No power.
And I use Adobe that has to log into the internet to work. Oops.
So Suji has like pneumonia. Anyway, but we're jumping back in with both feet. We've got a big, crazy full spectrum investigation that we cannot say where right now.
But when we get back and do the show on Monday, we'll tell you guys. Actually, we might be posting on Sunday, what's going on.
Once we're out of
there, then we'll let you guys know. But we're really excited. You guys are going to go nuts about it. You guys are going to lose your minds.
It's going to be pretty awesome.
Yeah.
We have been working in our spare time on getting some stuff like together. I'm cobbling some stuff together for it. We're going to have like multiple.
Can you get it in the frame?
Can I get it in the frame? We messed around with something similar to this once before, and we called it the Cerberus.
Well, don't drop her down just yet. Be proud of your accomplishment here, Egon.
Egon?
Egon, yeah. Ghostbusters, you nerd. I'm more of the Bill Murray.
Yeah, you're more of the Bill Murray type.
Chasing broads,
talking smack. So
going on talk shows. But this is Joe's been kind of working on this setup.
And it's going to be filming in different night vision, full spectrum, and thermal. I'm working on auxiliary power for it right now to keep everything kind of going at the same time. We've got 2 or 3 of these with different types of equipment on them that we're getting ready up for this investigation, because we're going on like full tilt boogie. We're taking
tilt boogie.
We're going to be running a ton of stuff.
And we have to, because we've got a lot of data to get on this trip. So it's going to be definitely necessary. April Black says that she has friends headed to the LBL for Memorial Day weekend, worried about them. They're going in a motorhome, but still. Now, Memorial Day weekend is going to be very busy at the LBL.
Now, around holidays like that, the structured campgrounds get like packed.
Yeah.
And so there's always like cops running like checkpoints on the trace, you know what I'm saying? So if they're going, they should be okay, especially if they are in
an RV staying in the main established
campground. Yeah, exactly. So
Meandering Around with Johnny Jans says, that's a sweet setup, Joe. You're like a one-man production team.
We are going to sometime flip the camera around so you guys can see me when we're out, because Jesse is usually leading us through the woods, and then I'm looking at all this stuff. So I'm filming us doing what we're doing, and then running different audio setups and then usually some sort of like sensor stuff. I have stuff strapped to me like freaking everywhere at this point now. I looked at her like a couple of weeks ago before the storm hit and just I said, we're going to have to rethink some of this stuff, because if I ever need to run, I'm not going to be able to run. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm going to barely be able to waddle with all this. But yeah, we've got like,
it's all part of my grand
I'm a
plan.
one-man band with a lot of this stuff. So a one-man band. I didn't even read this. The same person. Always enjoy the intros you guys do to your investigations, especially the one to Bigfoot in Georgia. Just wondering, when you film, how much are you thinking about that intro and setting up the perfect shot? We're not really thinking too much about filming. Keep in mind, this will be like, we'll be out there for like days sometimes, and you guys will get like a 45 to 60-minute video. So a lot of it just gets, and then sometimes nothing comes out of it. We'll go on investigations and then we're just like, it's kind of boring. Nothing happened.
I think they might be referring to the intro where the fog and everything.
You're talking about the fog and all that?
The fog intro.
Now the fog, when we were driving in, because you're on little gravel and dirt roads for like
hours
getting up in there, just meandering up in. And none of them are maintained. So sometimes you can't take the same route twice. But we were going through there and the fog was so thick. I just looked up at the trees and I just went, I got to film this. This is incredible.
It was incredible. Yeah. It was wild. And then I was like, all right, I can get this. We're going to film the fog. And I was like, I really want a shot of me walking into the fog, just because that's so creepy. That just seems like so creepy and so like right on for what we're doing. So I found this like little swampy area. We pulled over. I jumped out. And Joe filmed me walking into it. But that fog, I mean, you couldn't have asked for like a more creepy setting to go into.
Jesse,
that area.
And then at one point, Jesse walked into the woods to check something. And that's that footage you have of her walking away. Just because I was watching her and I just went, holy crap, this looks awesome. And started filming. And then you just kind of see her disappear into the fog at that point. So
yeah, it's crazy how that
awesome.
Like all just, I don't know. That was like a weird day. I don't remember what was the expedition we went on that day. Oh, I don't think we ever released that.
Nothing ever happened other than the fog.
Yeah,
because we went out and it was so creepy.
And we're like, oh, this is so creepy.
And then
something weird is going to happen.
The 2 times we've gone out in super thick fog, and you ought to release a short of the one fog we were in up near that old mountain cemetery.
Yeah.
You couldn't use white lights because the light would bounce back at you because the fog was so thick. We had to use red flashlights to navigate, and it wouldn't quite have as much backspill, but it was just crazy. I mean, this was fog that literally you couldn't see your hand in front of your face. And again, we were going, this is insane. What's with us in the fog out here? And like, guess what? Nothing was out there with us in the fog. It was just completely
the days that it looks creepy, it's not creepy for some reason.
Driz asked if there's any chance of a members only live from this upcoming investigation. Possibly.
Maybe.
A short one. This is going to this is ambitious for us. This is ambitious with the amount of stuff that we're going to be running all at once.
Yeah.
So
the amount of data collection we're trying to do and the amount of footage.
I've had extra SD cards and batteries showing up like week, just to try to keep stuff running, because it's going to be.
We're literally running everything
pretty much for like 2 or 3 days straight.
Yeah.
So it's going to be I've got notebooks filled with just sketches on how we're going to set stuff up and do everything like that. But now I'm starting to cough. Watch, we're both going to be up here sick doing it. So, thank you, Liberty 1776.
Hey, thanks, man.
Appreciate
That's
that.
awesome.
You build your proton pack containment unit strong enough. That's literally almost what I look like now, with all these like wires and cables and everything running. Whenever you see people doing this sort of stuff, the big thing is that almost anything that you use, the internal batteries are never enough. You almost have to always run off external power.
Yeah.
Which means you need power banks to power it, and then you need power cables which are very easily knocked out, especially when you're going through the brush. So I end up having like power cables threaded through stuff and taped in and all that. I look like a freaking Ghostbuster doing this. So, and I just know one day we're going to be somewhere and just run into somebody. You know what I'm saying? You know, and they're just going to be like, they're probably going to take one look at us and then just take off screaming into the woods. I ran into these lunatics in the woods, and I don't know what sort of cult they were in, but the guy was, and then there'll be people out hunting us. You know what I'm saying? So
What kind of cult would have like wires all over?
I don't know, man. The wire cult.
The wire cult.
Thank you for that, Liberty, though. We greatly appreciate it. All right.
Sometimes if you watch Ghost Adventures, Aaron has that like what is that vest he wears? Like that tack
It's a
vest?
photographer vest, isn't it? Or is it a tack vest?
It's a tack vest.
Tack vests are hot, man. That's too much heat.
I thought you were gonna say that's hot, like sexy. But the thing is though, is like we have our chest rigs, we have all that stuff. You can't have like stuff with all these little pouches all over it.
It's you got to strap it where you can get it. So
Rack the Jipper said that Cult of the Borg have wires all over them.
Whom?
Cult of the Borg.
Cult of the whom?
Borg. I'm assuming that's a Star Trek
Star Trek
reference.
Yes.
A Trek of the Star.
Linda, I wanted to ask if we'd ever heard any more about why they were closing all those roads at the LBL. I don't know. There's been a lot of stuff. We haven't been back to the LBL since we were there with like the Small Town Monsters bunch and a bunch of other people like Deuster and Martin Groves and Daryl Denton, a bunch of people like that. That's been a while. I don't know if they're still doing it, but I'd also heard, I think through Barton Nunley had mentioned it, that they were cutting down like the numbered signs for like the highway, like the numbers. So you didn't know what road you were on. Like
Weird.
So yeah.
Yeah. If you look at the paper map of the LBL, all the roads have numbers, like Forest Service road numbers, correlating numbers. That's weird that they would do that.
It's very weird. So, and you have places and they do maintenance and everything. Well, actually, I take that back because I heard that the LBL there had been a budget passed where they're going to have some more money this year. So maybe there is some like maintenance going on, but it was weird because you're seeing all these roads closed down. That takes money to do. You got to pay people to do that and monitor them and everything like that. I'm going, why are you closing them? You're not doing anything with them. I mean, it's just weird, but I still say, and you know what, everybody that's gone there, even the Small Town Monsters crew that went down there, Aaron Dees and Shannon LeGros and all of them.
Do we have a release ETA on? I don't
think so.
That?
But even they were going, we thought that there was some exaggeration going on when we heard people talk about the LBL, just about how it's managed. But then you get down there and you see it and you start going, none of this makes sense. We don't see this in other like national recreation areas, other national forests, anything like that. So
I'm on their website. I'm trying to see Dogman Territory. They don't have a date on it yet. I'm excited about that Dogman Territory movie coming out from Small Town Monsters. Awesome. You guys are gonna really, really like it. Joe and I were talking about it, and I'm excited because it kind of brings back the magic of the LBL for me. I know personally, and I know it did you.
Yeah.
That it kind of brought that magic back to the LBL. That it's kind of the LBL's kind of scary again.
Yeah, it was weird because it when we were down there last time, we were with people, like a bunch of people, and like usually it's just us solo down there. So when you're out there with just the two of us, and then all of a sudden you're out there, even if it's just with like a handful of other people, it's kind of weird, it almost feels like you've got a false sense of security with you just because you've got other people with you. And it's this just watching the small part of it that we saw made it feel cool again. Do you know what I'm saying? So, interested to see it all come out.
I'm struggling not to cough.
That's all right. So our buddy LW had asked if y'all seen any of the Skinwalker Ranch show. We have seen, so we talked about this. We don't really watch a lot of TV. And then I thought that the Skinwalker Ranch show was just like, what is that one? The Oak Island, the Curse of Oak Island.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's what I had an uninformed opinion on it, that's what that was. And then we had all these people chiming in going, especially when we got that 1.6 gigahertz signal.
We kept getting that. We kept getting that in Georgia, and we got that in the LBL one time.
Yeah, so people were going, oh, that's what the Skinwalker Ranch guys are getting. And that my honest first opinion was, well, this just makes me want to discount it then, because that's just a show done for drama's sake. And everybody's going, no, it's a show done on the real research that they're doing out there. So we'd had a few people mention, what was the spinoff, Secrets of Skinwalker Ranch? Or no, that's the main show. the spinoff one where it's not those guys, it's two people going out investigating other areas of high strangeness around the country. We watched some of that.
Yeah.
But I've yet to see, I don't think I've ever seen a full episode of Skinwalker Ranch. I've seen clips off YouTube.
And LW is concerned about like the government involvement in it. You know, Travis Taylor was involved with that show, and then it finally came out that he was the person working with the U.S. government.
He was with ATIP.
Yeah, it finally came out that he was the scientist working with
and they
ATIP.
didn't know, and I guess that caused some friction behind the scenes.
I bet it would.
And then he was going, you guys don't understand, I couldn't tell you, and I've also been kind of running interference, Who knows, man, when you get to that level. So but you know, there is weird government stuff that goes on at the LBL. Yeah. There is. If you go down there, and again, if you're just down there to camp for a few days and that's all you're worried about, and you're even going to maybe not stray too far, maybe you're at the horse camp down there, or maybe you're just taking a hike, you don't really, if you're not paying attention, it's easy to miss, you know? But when you're down there and you're going in with like an eye kind of geared towards unusual stuff, and you start seeing unusual stuff, and you ask, hey, why is this like this? And the people that work there are giving you weird answers, and they're kind of baffled by it. And I just, there's weird stuff at the LBL. I don't know what's going on. It seems to me that, I don't know, you know, people think that the LBL was created to contain something. I don't know if that's the case. I honestly think that I don't know, I go back and forth. I think that they stirred something up when they got down there doing what they did, you know, making the lakes and everything like that. And then do you think
that that's similar to what happened at Skinwalker Ranch?
Possibly so, that they got down there and digging and dynamiting stuff, and it was already primed for weirdness.
And it just seems like the LBL, Skinwalker Ranch, these areas just seem like what John Keel would call window areas.
Yeah,
you know?
And
then there's human interaction with these areas that really start to knock down that wall.
Yeah, and it's weird. It's just that my current theory is that area was primed for weirdness, and that they didn't really pay attention. The government just wanted to go in there, and they didn't care what anybody said. They were just going to do what they wanted to do.
Yeah.
And then it stirred something up, and then they were left kind of, how do we manage this as best as possible? You know what I'm saying? At that point, it was pretty much impossible just to close the whole peninsula off, you know, without a cover story that would draw more attention than anything else. And to me, it seems like, well, let's just let the place fall into freaking disrepair, you know, but then again, you know, what's weird is, let's look at the timing on all this. So we're down there with Dewey Martin Groves, everything like that. They're closing these roads down. The hog hunt was going on. You're hearing explosions. You're seeing helicopters. Everybody's mystified what's going on. We see those dudes who were getting out of those trucks that are like geared up head to toe,
and we saw them
with dog teams.
We were coming from the Devil's Backbone area, and we took a gravel road to try to get back to the trace, and we were passing by an area on that gravel road where nobody really drives,
because we were trying to find a way around all that close stuff to go snoop.
We're trying to snoop around, and there was this truck, and it had all these guys had matching gear. They were pulled off. They were behind some brush. They hid their truck behind some brush, so you really couldn't see it, except for if you were coming from where we were.
And you don't want to get too hung up on standardized equipment, because a credit card and an Amazon account, I could outfit 12 people that looked with military grade gear that all looked the same. But these were some very fit dudes getting out of trucks with some dog teams that didn't look like they were hog hunting.
I mean, it didn't look like hobbyists.
No, they didn't look like they were hobbyists. And we just saw them for just a couple seconds, and then we were like, we kind of want to look at them some more, but we also don't really want to go back and draw attention to ourselves. But it's weird. All that was going on, and then immediately after that, now all of a sudden there's talk of, there's going to be more money spent on the LBL, and the budget's been increased, and you know, they're supposedly in the process of like gussying up the place. Maybe they got some stuff under control down there, man.
Yeah.
I don't know. Or maybe the improvements that got budgeted are covered for something else. Maybe something else is going on, and that's just, I don't know what's real anymore, man. So
somebody emailed me it was a part of the newsletter for the LBL. I get that newsletter, but somebody emailed me part of it where they were doing like a controlled burn, and they're
Yeah.
like, "You think this is covering something up?" It's like, I don't know. It's hard to kind of separate what is a part of this weird stuff and what is like basic operating procedure, you know.
Mhm.
And you don't want to attribute everything that happens to, my God, something is happening. They're trying to cut, not everything.
But at the same token, you get to that point
where you're
when
like,
you're just
could
going,
this be?
and it's such a fine line to walk where you start seeing conspiracy behind every corner. But then you get to the place of the LBL and you go, well, damn, well, you know, it's the way it seems, man.
You just turn into Charlie Day with the, you know, all
the board with the
board
string
with
and
the
all
string,
that.
you know.
Welcome to the channel, by the way, Joel Latham. I meant to get to
Hello,
that.
Joel.
And thank you.
Thank you, Suji.
Thank you. We
I'm
appreciate
gonna
that. Thank you.
I'm gonna pop out in a second and grab some more beverages.
Oh, you go.
because
I'll entertain the folks. So
I have to keep the whistle wet, or I'm gonna cough to
Bristol
death.
had asked, were they in the much reported white van? No, we've never really seen white vans.
I've
down there.
never seen an
I keep
unmarked
hearing
white
about them.
van.
I've never seen an unmarked white van there.
And
I
when we go, we stay for 10 days at a time.
And I've never seen a white van.
No.
There. These dudes were getting out of very nice, subdued colored trucks with German Shepherds, and they were outfitted. They didn't look like they were going hiking or on a hog hunt. And again, we just saw them and kind of went like this, and then we were like going, all right, there's no way we can have a innocent reason for going back through there, you know.
Yeah, driving by like this.
So you know, and it could have been innocent, but at the same time,
innocent team of
just an innocent team of well-armed guys with German Shepherds getting out of a truck there. So yeah.
Nothing to see here. I'm gonna go grab a little beverage. You need anything?
No, I'm good.
Right.
So
I'll be quick. Otherwise, I'm gonna cough to death.
all right. All righty. Let's see what else we got here. Is that black mold behind Jesse? No, that is our textured wall with. Oh, you're talking about up here and the. I always get this mixed up. That is a graphic. That is not black mold. So, trying to set the tone for the evening here. So, all right. Somebody would like to see a winter expedition into the LBL with snow on the ground at night using a thermal drone. We do not have a thermal drone. When we have been down there in the past with people that flew drones in there, and it is very limited use because the tree cover is very dense in the LBL, very dense. You get into some like recreation areas, it's cleared, but a lot of the regular areas, it's really thick. But we also don't have a thermal drone. I mean, they're getting cheaper every year, and down the road, we'll possibly get one when I can stop building crazy stuff like that. But down the road, we'll get one. But right now, we don't have one. Most of the areas through here, keep in mind, we mostly operate in like northern Georgia, South Carolina, western North Carolina, and stuff like that. And it's really thick. It's like a temperate rainforest through there. So. And thermal can't see through solid objects. So a lot of times it's going to be useful. We'll eventually get one, but right now we've just got other priorities for it. But we've been down there in the wintertime. We have been down there, the werewolf experiments that we did when we went down there to try to do some like novel, you always hear stories about people trying to lure in the beast of LBL. You know,
using various things.
They're like bags of dog food and like, you know, meat, you know, and we took wolf lore and Sasquatch pheromone chips.
Mm-hmm.
And now part of that story, that original story, the 82 massacre was that, and I don't think that part of the story is true, but it's a part of the story that the beast got lured in by the cologne that they were wearing. Because, you know, all those colognes in the early 80s were very, very musky smelling, you know. Like, what were some of those colognes like? Karate.
Drakkar Noir.
So I started thinking about it, and I was going, even if that's an invention and somebody just made that up, if you're dealing with a predatory animal, you know, most animals, especially predators, follow some pretty simple biological guidelines. They want to fight, they want to feed, they want to breed, and they're territorial.
I thought you were going to do the other end.
No, I dropped it. Keep this kid friendly. So, So we were going, maybe if we introduced some scents, some smells that aren't like native to the area, it would make something curious or tick it off.
Mm-hmm.
So we used the Sasquatch pheromone chips, which debatable whether those work with Sasquatch or not, but we used those, and then we used wolf lore. Unfortunately, when we baited it, a weather system moved in on us and drenched us. So we never really got a full idea of whether that would work or not. But we figured nobody had ever tried that before, so we would give it a shot.
And we might try that out.
We'll try it
we ought to
again.
try that out next time we go to the LBL.
I have a jar of Sasquatch pheromone chips, that company that made those.
The last one in
They're
existence.
still in business. They just don't make them anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So I've got them, and I've got to be judicious in how I use them. But I also know that if I wait too long, they're going to dry out. They're not going to be.
Yeah.
So I've got them like sealed
it's like
in the
that
container.
bottle of Avon perfume that you didn't use, and now it smells terrible.
Indeed. So they, so I don't. So we'll try it again. And like I said, our whole idea is just try new stuff. It's either going to work or it's not going to work.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't work, just move on to the next thing, and then maybe dust it off later on down the road. We pride ourselves in taking a non-traditional kind of imaginative approach to a lot of this stuff. And you know what? With the understanding that some of it might just be wasted time, but I had fun wasting that time though. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, for
It's
sure.
cool doing weird stuff in the woods. So,
The tall ones asked, ever tried dog whistle?
Nah.
I know that the Cryptid Studies Institute.
yeah, and Martin
Folks
Groves
did.
has a dog whistle and all that.
Elijah.
I did think about trying to, because here's where I always come back to this. The whole idea of dog man, it's freaking ridiculous, man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's crazy when you take a step back.
And there's so many, I think to a certain degree, anybody that's not involved in this, not interested in this topic, just has like a cursory kind of just base level understanding of everything in terms of high strangeness, paranormal, cryptids, anything like that. I think that their mind will accept the boggle threshold for them for Bigfoot is okay. Like, okay,
Well,
maybe there's an undiscovered ape or something running through the woods.
We laughed about Dogman all the way up to the first LBL thing. And
Yeah.
we saw that thing on thermal, and we still don't know what it was, but it looked kind of like what you would expect a big. I still go back on that, man. I still look at that and go, that looks like a giant bat, like a big bat head. But that's what witnesses report there. And then we started meeting and talking to people who seemed extremely credible. You know what I'm saying? They're credible saying that they've seen this. So, but at the same token, you look at this and you go, I don't see how there could be a breeding population of these things in the LBL.
No.
If whatever is happening,
If you're talking about something that's just a straight up natural animal.
but there's been cubs reported. People have seen female. I guess they identified the female dog woman by the teats. Is that the right word? The teats.
We've gone over this before.
Yes, we have. So, with children, but at the same token, there couldn't be a breeding population there. They'd be getting hit by cars. You'd see it. They'd be there more. But if they're there, it's something more along the lines of like John Keel high strangeness. So they may have nothing in common with canines beyond an appearance at that point. But I did think about, instead of doing a dog whistle, trying to get some sort of like ultrasonic emitters.
Yeah.
Trying to find something that would be in like the dog hearing range and really like crank them up and see if we could but then again, if there's coyotes there, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know.
I don't know. It might be worth a shot. It might be worth a shot to do some audio experience.
It's difficult to produce infrasound, but it ain't that hard to do ultrasound.
Yeah.
To do ultrasonic stuff, like above and beyond what a dog whistle would do. I don't know. Might be worth a shot sometime. So
I'm going through chat, homie, checking everything.
Dead End Yard Haunt. We found the Dogman mask. We had put it to the side to get a thing, and then I covered it with a poster so it wouldn't get messed up. And then I moved the poster and I went, there it is, because I'd forgot where it was. We were like in a panic that we'd lost it. I'm looking at it right now, as a matter of fact. We're getting like a head for it. Aren't you getting like a mannequin head or something?
Yeah, because I'm going to display
the werewolf mask on.
I'm going to display it. Yeah.
But it's And it's weird because people are always just like, there's no, Sasquatch, you've got Gigantopithecus, you've got various like ancestors of man that could, if there was a remnant population of them out there, could explain it. But people are going, there's nothing that really looks like Dogman in the fossil record. There's dire wolves, but they're not even really canines.
Yeah.
But you get into things like, what is it, Dinocrucia, which is the prehistoric hyena. Look at that. It's pretty Dogman looking, isn't it?
It's got a shorter snout. Yeah.
Shorter snout, but still. All right. Let's go on down here and see what else you got. What else y'all got? Throw it at us.
I got some marked.
You got some marked?
Yeah.
Let's see what we got. Lisa Johnston, I'm not going to put this up. She wants to know when the footage from the manor will be released. We don't know because
I'm working on it.
We got dinged like you wouldn't believe just on that live stream we did on it where we talked about it. Demonetized all of a sudden. And you know what? The channel is what the channel is. We're not professional YouTubers. We're just people that put stuff that we do on YouTube. We're not doing the thumbnails with our faces like this and red arrows and all that jazz. But
I look a little shocked in some of the.
You do look a little shocked in some of the things, but but still, we do want the channel to kind of grow and take off and everything like that. But we hit a freaking wall after the live stream we did.
Yeah, we did that live stream talking about the story of what happened at the manor, and we got dinged like crazy for it.
Just hit like you wouldn't believe.
I'm working through a lot of the footage. I think I want to do 2 episodes where the first one we talk about the history, the story, kind of go over that, but I'm gonna have to do it in a very gentle way and go through it. And then I think there's going to be a members version.
We're just gonna cut loose and just let it all go.
Yeah, there'll be a members version of the story that's just wild ass. You know what I'm saying?
We're gonna wild out with it.
We're gonna wild ass.
And it's weird because it's other people have released stuff on it, but I mean, we finished that show and we got an alert that we were demonetized. And again, we use what we pull off YouTube to kind of offset this crap. You know what I'm saying? So thermal imagers and night vision scopes and full spectrum cameras and crap like that. So we were going, that's weird. And then we just noticed that the channel just came to a screeching halt after that.
Yeah.
Some of that was we were also MIA for like a week or so. But still, we've been out like at the LBL and never not really released anything for a week and it didn't come. So we've got to figure out how we can, because we've got all this footage now. You know what I'm saying? We went, checked it out. And
so yeah. Grizz is actually saying there's dozens of videos out there. Why did y'all get hit? I don't know. But like I said, I'm going to do.
They might be a little bit more civilized in their conversation
tactful.
About it. Yeah, tactful, less offensive in their language about it. So we were pretty relaxed that night. We were kind of.
We were having a blast.
Yeah, so we got a little too much into it. So.
But yeah, like I said, for the first part, I think I want to do kind of a sanitized version, and then for members, I'll do a wild ass version.
Call it that, the members wild ass version.
That's what I'm going to call it. And then part 2 will be our investigation. It'll be our daytime scouting investigation and then our night investigation of the ruins of the manor. So I think that's what we're going to end up doing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I need to sit down when we get some time and look at some of those other manor videos and see what it was, how did they walk that line?
Yeah.
Because we got a little too carried away with it. So Panama had asked, were any of these men with German Shepherds carrying visible weapons? Oh yeah, they were. So
yeah,
very much so.
You know what's funny? It was like shortly after that is when we got stopped
by the cops,
questioned
by the police, looking for people of our description. So
did you get to the one where the gentleman was asking about going to the LBL in the winter?
Yes, I did.
You did?
Yes.
Oh, okay, you did that while I was in there.
Did that when you were indisposed.
Did you tell them we're gonna probably be going back in the winter?
Probably so. Probably going back in the winter. Probably we can't go publicly. We can't talk about it publicly.
Yeah.
We can't talk about it ahead of time because YouTube's a weird place, man. And it's not just YouTube, it's the people that populate YouTube are weird. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And there's a lot of Machiavellian intrigue that goes on behind the scenes and like YouTube.
If Machiavelli had a club foot.
Yeah, which we were ill prepared for, because we were just thinking, hey, we're going to put our investigations on YouTube and share them with people. And we did that. And then we had some people go, wow, I really enjoyed this. We also had people go, we hate you. Why are you doing this? How dare you? How dare you? But we had people go, wow, I can't get out and do this myself. So it's enjoyable to watch you guys. Even if you don't find anything, whatever, it's enjoyable to kind of live vicariously through you. So that's what kind of ramped this up a little bit. But we were not, and I figured, hey, we might believe different things than other people and try different things than other people do. And they might kind of think we're silly, and we might secretly think they're silly. And it's all good fun in the end of the day. And we didn't know that there was as much like craziness that goes on, and like cop calling and doxing and just all of this death threats, all of this weird stuff, which we've all experienced, which is so bizarre to me still. I mean, but so when we go to do it, we can't announce ahead of time that we're doing it.
Yeah. Not anymore.
We can't do it anymore like that. We can't even do, when we were in the UAPs, we had a Bigfoot researcher up there dox us because they were upset that we were investigating in their area and people were watching it. It's so weird, man. So
that's why our live.
And what's weird is nothing really, we had almost paranormal activity in the UAPs.
Yeah.
If we had anything at all.
So this is why our lives are members only, like our live investigations. Live field Sorry, I actually found cough drops.
Oh, you got a cough?
That's why I've not been dying. Yeah. But our live investigations are members only now, because other YouTubers keep doxing us when we're at locations where they know where we're at.
Yeah, it's so weird.
I'm not trying to get shot or
because that's what we always worry
or have my thermal thrown onto the ground.
Is when the cops approached us at the LBL. one cop approached us at the LBL because they had. We were literally doing tourist stuff. We had stopped because Jesse wanted to get some photos of the furnace there that's still intact.
I did a video where I'm talking about the history of the Great Western
and
Furnace.
We're just standing there taking photos with our phone. All of the weird stuff's in like the car buried. And a cop pulls up and it's just like, hey, can I ask what you guys are doing? And I'm like, what the hell does it look like we're doing? We're taking photos of the furnace, Kind of had an idea something was going in a weird direction, but I played indignant and innocent the entire time. We're taking photos. Well, I'm like, is there a particular reason why you stopped us? And stopped and approached us? And well, we had a call of two people matching your description, and we're pretty freaking distinct. She had blue in her hair back then. I'm 6'3" with a white beard. And it turned out that we think another person on YouTube called the police on us because heaven forbid we had some people watch our stuff that we were doing live down there. So now we just can't really do a lot of live stuff in the LBL. Yeah. When we do, it's going to be, of course I say that we might throw caution in the wind and do one.
We have a bad track record of being
knowing we're not supposed to do it.
We are not going to do this.
And then we get just too into it.
F it.
So
let's do it live.
Let's do it live. So, but it's just weird. So anyway, Jesse,
Hope Rising wants to see my mug.
Wants to see the mug.
This is my Bigfoot mug I got at, let's see, where we go. At the Expedition Bigfoot Museum. I have one that somebody got me a while back that was blue. I got the brown version here. That is pretty awesome. If you're a member, you got to see our little foray into the Expedition Bigfoot Museum and the fantastic ending to that.
Oh, the ending. Good Lord. All right.
While we're talking about stuff.
Expedition Bigfoot Museum has a supposed piece of Bigfoot scat.
Yeah.
Which is like the size of my arm, like the length of my arm, and I got long ass arms.
It's not as girthy.
Not as girthy. But it's a Bigfoot turd. It's a Bigfoot turd under glass.
In a glass case.
In a glass case, probably climate controlled.
Fantastic.
Fantastic. So that was Jesse's highlight. She got to see some scat without stepping in scat for once. Yeah. So it was nice.
It was great. But while we're talking about stuff, before you get to that next question, I do want to thank a couple of people. I did a mail call today.
Good God Almighty! It's amateur hour.
All right, I just want to say thank you to Christine and Dion from Clean Fun Soaps for the really cool Bigfoot soap. Look at that! Look, that is the most detailed Bigfoot soap you will find ever.
Let me see that. That's pretty damn awesome. I didn't have a chance to look at that. That's a pretty damn detailed Bigfoot soap if I've ever seen one.
Yes.
Good Lord.
Yes, I Unfortunately, I will use it and just mess him all up.
Yeah,
but,
it's gone soon. So,
but yes, it's awesome. But thank you for that. And also, Joe's lover from another mother, Kyle, sent the Old Mountain Spell Book. It's
that's Kyle from Encrypted Connections.
Yep. Exploring Appalachian folklore and magic, hoodoo, root work, and moon spells.
Hoodoo.
So that is real cool and awesome. All right, back to our regular scheduled program.
All right, so
without me destroying everything.
Where was I going to with this before you interrupted?
You had one marked. It was probably something serious too, and I'll just
probably was something serious.
I started talking about turds and soap and.
Why does anybody watch this? Anyway,
Granny Clampett.
A couple of quick things here. Martin Balderrama, do you think that the laughing beast is a type of dog man, or do you think it's something altogether? I have no clue. I will say that one of the things that I find most intriguing online are some of those. There's a famous one from an Indian reservation, and for the life of me, I cannot remember which Native American tribe is involved with it, but everybody's seen it. There's like a laughing thing. It almost sounds like a hyena. You hear somebody take a shot at it. And then there's another video that I was unaware of that somebody sent me within the past couple of weeks. So I've always been like intrigued by that weird lapping sound, because there's reports of Appalachian hyenas. I've never been able to get a good there's reports on them. We've never gotten a fresh report that we could actually go look into. A couple of times people have contacted us with supposedly recent activity, and then they ghost us every time. So I don't know if they're just pulling our leg or if it's really going on. But when the witnesses, who, by the way, we have not been able to get back in touch with.
Right.
So if
they have completely fallen off the map.
If you two are watching this, please reach back out to us or check your email. But she had the lady that we spoke to, because her husband's visually impaired, so she was typing all this out. But he was the one who experienced. No, they both experienced the laughing beast. Yeah, they both heard it coming, laughing at them, and it
slapped the truck.
Slapped the truck. They peeled out of there. When we were down there, we heard some stuff in the distance, but this part of the country in the summertime, it's hard to record anything because of all the damn insects in the summertime.
Especially right now, the cicadas.
Yeah. So we heard some stuff in the distance, but it did not sound like laughing. It sounded like
woo!
Typical Bigfoot whoops. We have never heard the laughing stuff before, so I don't know.
I'm freaking scared to hear the laughing.
That's something that, because if you listen to that one, and I'd almost even play it right now, but it's YouTube will ding us again for it, copyright infringement or something.
Which one?
The one where they hear the laughing at the reservation. It's pretty sinister sounding, man. If that's real, that's some pucker factor right there.
Yeah.
So I don't know, and it's weird because that area is sketchy as hell too. So
we have to go through a bunch of closed down roads.
We have to,
because there's like
a bridge that's
out. A bridge is out.
So they never fixed it, and it's been out for years now.
We have to go around and then go past all these closed road signs. I was dragging signs out of the road, and we were driving through, and I dragged them back into place.
We had to consult some law enforcement that, not from that particular immediate region, but nearby, going, these roads are closed, but there's no trespassing signs. Are we okay? Well, they might tell you to leave, but they won't arrest you. All right, good. But so I don't know, because there's other weird stuff that's happened down there. The lady talks about one time that her husband, because he used to go down there because some of the activities he was engaged in, he needed some privacy for. He came back to his truck, and there was a little girl next to his truck that was very insistent that he let her in the car and give her a ride. And I'm immediately thinking, it's black-eyed kids.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm going, what did the kid look like? Did she have and she's just going, it's a normal little girl from what I can tell, but it's just odd that she's there so many miles away. He thought that somebody was trying to set him up, and he was trying to get information out of her, as to what was going on. And his original thought was somebody is trying to set him up down there, So it's a sketchy area. It's a really sketchy. We need to get back in there though.
Yeah.
All the best places are sketchy. So
I marked some on there too, by the way.
Hey, Kevin Clark, thank you so much for that.
Thank you, Kevin.
So we greatly appreciate it. That will go towards crazy camera experiments. And we tried that once before, and we were trying it mobile. We were trying multiple camera setups that looked at different parts of the spectrum, and it kind of worked, but it was clumsy. it was hard to kind of walk and use it and everything like that. So I'm getting this set up stationary for some stuff. So we'll see how this works. Keeping it powered all night long is going to be a challenge, but I think we can do it. But thank you for that, Kevin. I greatly appreciate it. So Bristol, hyenas were popular pets for the bougie until the early 1900s. Many were released when they became illegal to own. It's weird because when and I've talked about this before, but the the reports that I've gotten, it all started out because like we don't go on like Bigfoot Facebook groups and stuff like that and look for activity. We go to like outdoor themed discussion groups, forums, Reddit, stuff like that.
Rock climbing, fishing,
hunting, geocaching, stuff like that, to see people who are talking about weird stuff, because these are not people who are primed for this sort of stuff. So they don't see Bigfoot behind every tree, but they're people that spend a lot of time in the woods.
Yeah.
So when they experience something weird, they got a baseline for what normal is in the woods. So carries some weight. And I came across some guys talking about, has anybody ever ran into like hyenas in the mountains before, and these guys were just on there talking about like, yeah, my brother said one stole his kill one time, came in and stole his deer, but they always seem to travel in like small groups, usually around 3 or so.
Yeah.
One guy claimed that either he or his brother killed one.
And he posted like a photo, didn't he?
He posted something that was kind of out there, but you couldn't really tell what it was, but he burned it and buried it.
Yeah.
And I read between the lines, I kind of got the idea that he was poaching. He was hunting where he shouldn't be hunting at. And he thought he had killed like an exotic animal or something. So there's supposedly flesh and blood. I mean, I don't get any like weird, like supernatural reports for him. But if it's a breeding population, freaking hyenas, you'd expect one to get hit by a car, a farmer to shoot one, put it out on the internet.
Yeah, we've mentioned this before. And actually somebody watching was telling us about how there were several hyena reports outside of Travelers Rest, South Carolina.
That was one of the current ones we got. And we were going to go down there and actually investigate, because I'm going, wow.
But that area is so developed now.
And we're just going, how is this possible that if there's like a breeding population of hyenas, they're going to be getting kids out of backyards and like small dogs and all that. People are going to catch them on their ring cams and all of that. But the reports are so consistent. Mm-hmm. And somebody had even mentioned that Tall Bronco had reports of hyena-like creatures back in Arkansas.
Yeah.
You hear them through Arkansas, Oklahoma, and then the Southern Appalachians. We get a bunch. We get a bunch through North Carolina down through into Georgia. But they're always so removed. But it's such a weird thing because it's so out of the ordinary. They're not Bigfoot reports.
Yeah, they are. They're like third hand, or it's from 20 years ago.
But it's not your usual. If you're going to fake something, most people are going to like, Bigfoot reports or something that people know about. It's just always intrigued me. And it's something that we've never really been able to get a handle on. And we've never really been able to go investigate like a recent sighting of them or anything. So.
In the chat, they're talking about hearing the baby cry in the woods, and relating that to like the laughter and the kids and stuff. And we've heard that maybe twice before.
Yeah. Thank you for that, Dead End Yard Hunt, for cicada Lunchables. I'll tell you, we were out this past weekend. The cicadas weren't bad.
The frogs
were crazy.
I'll hopefully get that video done tomorrow. But
and we hear something, and I haven't even done the audio review on it yet. I don't know if we captured it. The frogs were
crazy. We were in like a swampy area.
We moved into one area, and I stopped, and I went, "What's that rumble? What's that rumble? Are there like vehicles back in here? Somebody like got a heavy machinery back in here doing something?" It's nighttime, and Jesse's like, "No, those are frogs." And I'm going, that's impossible. There's no way that many frogs.
There's like tens of thousands of frogs.
Tens of thousands of frogs, because this area's gotten so much rain and it's already a swampy area. It was freaking nuts. And we would go and like move into an area and they'd stop. They'd quiet down when we moved into the area. And then we'd hear something in the distance and we'd be like, oh, but we'd been there for a few seconds or minutes and the frogs are used to us. So they started back up again. So it was just finally, we were just going, if we do hear anything, we're not going to be able to capture it. I saved that file. Did you see where I loaded the file to? It's called Froggy Night is what it's called. So
it was foggy too. It's a foggy and froggy night.
Yeah. All right. Oh, I had a couple other things starred here.
I do want to say, can I put this up real quick?
Go ahead.
This is my legacy. Hi, Jesse and Joe. I look forward to your videos. It's never a dull moment. Cocaine, Dogman, Bigfoot turds.
I'm going to carve that on your tombstone.
Thank
That
you.
is your legacy.
That's my legacy.
Here, last Jesse.
Cocaine, Dogman.
Cocaine Dogman.
Bigfoot turds.
Bigfoot turd. R.I.P.
Hey, we got all our bases covered.
It's going to be a very small tombstone, though, because I'm not splurging. And I need money for camera equipment after you pass. You know what I'm saying?
God.
So it's going to have to, you're sacrificing for the cause.
Wow.
Joel wanted to know, when we go to a haunted area, do we use the spirit talking app? Jesse's got a couple of ghost boxes.
I do.
Spirit boxes.
Yeah, I got a really good one that we use.
The Cadillac of ghost boxes.
The Cadillac. I used that on our last time we were doing kind of like a cemetery out in the woods. We used that, and I got some weird stuff. And
it's weird because I chalk a lot of stuff up to like basically audio pareidolia, you know, where it's you hear something and your mind wants to make word, but then sometimes you just go, well, that's a weird series of sounds to come out at this particular time. I still don't think you communicate with ghosts.
The weirdest part was the fear itself. Like
the fear itself.
We asked like, who are you? And it replied with the fear itself. Yeah. And we use those for like Estes sessions too, because we do, we don't stick to just the Bigfoot, Dogman. We do a little.
We're out there, man.
We dabble in the ghosts.
Dip our toes in some weird waters. So, still don't think they're ghosts though. Mike from CARC. Hey, Mike, what's up? What's up, guys? Heard one third-hand story about someone seeing a hyena-like creature in Allegheny National Forest. See, it's always third-hand, and they usually behave like natural creatures. And according to this one guy, killed one and then hid the body because people were going, where's this body at? You know, we want to see the body of this dead hyena. Well, I burned it and buried it, or his brother burned it and buried it. I don't know. I just read it just going, this is a dude who started telling this story and then realized he was poaching while he was doing it and is now getting a little vague on details. So Bob Nil, is that how to pronounce it? So do you guys use the Merlin Bird app to rule out certain sounds?
We use Goshawk.
We use Goshawk. We got a boy Goshawk in here, and when we're doing live streams and Goshawk is on there, we hear weird noises. We will ask him,
what bird is this?
Yeah. Because generally, we hear barred owls all the time. You roll those out, screech owls. Usually we hear bird noises and we just go, I've never heard that bird before, because it's obviously a bird. You don't mistake a howling or a whooping or anything like that for a bird.
Some people will mistake an owl if they've never really heard a barred owl before, they'll mistake that. But we've heard barred owls a lot.
But our buddy Mike Ann uses Merlin like a great deal.
Yeah.
All right. What else?
Raftmaster said that just found out Lunchables have a lot of lead in them. That explains a lot about me.
A lot.
Yeah.
That explains a lot.
All right. I have a lead-addled brain.
Martin Groves has popped in. What's up, buddy? I've got to catch up with you. I've not talked to Martin Groves.
Southwest 10 is also here.
I've not talked to Martin Groves like a month. I haven't talked to anybody in a month.
I know.
Working and investigating and chainsawing. Cicadas wild at the LBL 2 days ago, like an entire tribe of them. We're finding a few, but it hasn't been that bad in this area. But man, the damn frogs. All right.
We might not go super late because my cough is killing me right now.
Jesse's getting sicker and sicker. So.
No, it's I need to.
People are talking about the thylacine photos that came out.
Yeah.
I will say this is that, all right, so some thylacine photos came out. A guy claimed that he was in.
Oh, Barton Nunley's here. What's up, Barton?
Well, he was in New Zealand, and he was driving, and one crossed the road, and he hit it, and he stunned it, and he got out, and he started snapping photos of it.
Yeah.
Okay. And obviously, it's been a subject of a lot of debate on whether these are legit or not. Mm-hmm. Okay. Because even skeptical people will go, I'll give you the thylacine. There might be some remnant population somewhere.
A lot of people think that thylacines are still alive in remote areas.
But there's a guy who is an artist who made a life-size like thylacine doll that has movable joints that looks hyper realistic. and the coloring's a little different, but you know, I mean, you could change the coloring on it if you got it. But people were noticing the similarities on it. But I guess the guy that took some photos was on a podcast or some show very recently, and he was very polished and very prepared. And then the interviewer started asking him some off the wall questions, like, what airport did you fly into? Where did you rent the car from? What did you, just all these like weird questions. And the dude was totally unprepared to answer it.
Oh, wow.
So some people just kind of went, I guess he was not prepared for stuff like that. So now there's a lot of doubt on them as to whether they're real or not. So.
Yeah, with a lot of those things, like, this is it, the definitive proof.
Well, here's the deal. You can't let stuff
Wait,
like
it was
that.
Forrest Galante, wasn't it?
He didn't take them. He put them out.
Okay.
That's how it got traction, because he put them out.
I'm surprised Coyote Peters didn't throw those up there.
Yeah, but again, you have to look at it like this. The high strangeness always has a weird blend of legit weird activity.
Yeah.
And false trails. And part of that's because of the phenomenon itself. It lives in that liminal zone. So, you know, I always just go.
It kind of cloaks itself.
You expect
in confusion.
So, I mean, you always expect stuff to be a blend of like hoaxing and real stuff. You know what I'm saying? So, it just kind of, it's a weird blend, and I don't think anybody knows why, but it happens. So, don't let that fake AI Bigfoot photo on Facebook get you down, because it ain't ever going away. Born Not to Run. So thank you for that, Born Not to Run. Do you ever see grow operations or moonshiners? I have 103-degree fever. Thanks for the good stories tonight. I hope you feel better, man. A lot of weird late in the season sickness going around.
Yeah.
We have not seen grow operations, thankfully.
We have seen evidence of moonshine operations, but they're old. Like, it's like old stuff. We found like parts of stills.
And there's still people that do
jugs.
shine, but for the most part, it doesn't happen as often as it used to. A lot of people just do it in the freaking garage nowadays. Don't worry about it. But we have not run into grow operations. Knock on
thank
wood. Thank you for that, by the way.
Barton's asked me if I have bronchitis, Barton. I have bronchitis. It's like the last thing I need, but I have it. I'm trying to get better because we have a huge trip investigation this weekend. So I'm doing my best.
I always tell the story, but I'm going to tell it right now. Hearing peacocks in the woods and not expecting them. We got contacted. Somebody had asked us one time, do you guys ever use like the Nextdoor app to look for like local activity? And I'm going,
the Karen app.
Not anymore. But when we did, there was a lady that lived extremely close to us who said that there were monkeys coming out of the woods at dusk, attacking her dogs. And we're instantly just like, what the hell? This is it. This is it. It's right down the road from us. This is it. It's baby Sasquatch coming out of the woods attacking her dogs. So we go and we check it out and everything like that. And it turned out her neighbor had peacocks, and she was hearing the peacock cries. And to her, it sounded like monkeys. And her dog, and peacocks are mean too. Her dogs were running into the tree line, and I guess the peacocks were like not taking any guff from these dogs. And then the dogs would come running back out because I guess the peacocks would like peck at them or whatever. But it was peacocks. Her neighbor had peacocks. And it was not monkeys attacking her dogs. It was her dogs picking the wrong fights with the wrong batch of peacocks there. So what's up, Ray? Thank you, Ray. Thank you so much. Howdy, y'all. Great seeing you at the Expedition Bigfoot Museum. Sorry I'm late. Taking care of my who's under the weather. Everybody's sick right now. Everybody's under the weather. It's crazy. Usually this time of year, all that stuff's ran its course. Hope everybody gets to feeling better, Ray. Jessie herself is ill. We're probably...
I went and got the whole bag.
You got the whole bag of cough drops? She's hitting it.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. I don't know. We did not wear any sort of breathing protection.
It was so hot, man.
While we were chainsawing for 4 days straight.
Yeah. So.
And apparently.
She got that black lung. She got that
wood lung. Wood lung.
You got wood lung. Got the wood lung, Pa.
I'll be all right. I'm gonna get some rest tonight, and we got a big old investigation coming up, and we're gonna hit it hard. It's gonna be awesome.
Kim Drescher says, sometimes it makes me feel like we are the phenomenon's entertainment at the end of the day. I saw something real briefly where somebody was bemoaning that. Somebody who I guess was a fledgling like UFO, UAP, aerial strangeness investigator was just going, I just feel like it's toying with me sometimes. And when he said that, it was just that he would describing what we've experienced sometimes. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, when you think it's supposed to happen, you think it's going to happen, it doesn't happen. And then it happens at all the weird, wrong moments, which is why I'm strapped with 3 audio recorders now running, because it always seems to happen when you're not ready for it. And then
when it just sends you into a mad rage because
you're ready to quit and walk away, and
walk
then
away.
something happens. But somebody, and it was, I just completely phased on, freaking. Jack Valet. How did I just forget Jack Valet's name?
Ooh,
We are
running on steam.
Yeah, we're running on steam. But Jack Valet had talked about how that it's almost like we're observing the phenomenon and the phenomenon's observing us, that it's doing things to see how we'll react. And because it doesn't make sense, a lot of these like UFO reports, especially in the 1950s, somebody drives around the corner and there's a broken down UFO on the side of the road, and there's little green men in spacesuits with wrenches out there working on it. But that was reported all the freaking time.
Do you think this kind of relates to, if you'll hear like, Greek legends that the gods would come down and use humans as entertainment? Do you think that kind of relates to that?
Well, you hear that with Sasquatch. People always go, "Oh, we're their entertainment. They look in our windows. They do this." And there's always been that element of, stuff just likes to mess with you. Do you know what I'm saying? Whether it's like out of
maybe something so old and has been around so long that
it needs some novel entertainment.
That's kind of that makes all of this so trivial in a way, doesn't it? It's like, oh, great. I'm just, all of the stuff that you're so passionate about and spend a lot of time and effort on is just some demigods.
Well, I always tell you that I don't understand how people do this stuff and then get like pompous about it. You know what I'm saying? They got their Indiana Jones gear on and their hat, and they're just, I'm a paranormal expert on this. And I'm just going, because for me, this is like so humbling to be involved with. And it's an ego killer. It is literally an ego killer. The way that you will just watch carefully laid plans fall apart, and equipment that worked at home and worked in the car. Now you're 10 hours out into the woods and the equipment's not working. And then it works fine when you get back.
Yeah.
It's just you feel so outclassed sometimes, and it's extremely frustrating. So I don't see how people get pompous doing this, because quite honestly, a lot of times I'll just sit there and just go, what the hell am I doing with my time here? You know what I'm saying? Just to get outclassed constantly by this stuff. So
everybody's saying I need a hot toddy. I'm having a NyQuil after this. A good old shot of the old NyQuil.
See what else we got. Hold on. We're not to run. Ray, got you.
What? Henry said, "Oh yes, next time you step in poo, look up. They can poo from the trees."
Good God. That is one of my least favorite things after we release the field investigation videos.
What?
Because when we are moving through the woods, because we're mostly mobile, you're trying to make sure you don't trip over something and break your neck. You're trying to watch all around you, and then you're looking up a lot. But only a couple of times, only really once in that time in like North Georgia, we saw something jump from tree to tree above us that was like weird. And we've always gone, we had already had some weird stuff happen. It seemed really large, but a lot of times you don't see a lot in the trees. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Especially if you're not in like an old growth forest, some of those branches can't really support weight.
And
people are always like, you need to look up. And I'm going, we do look up. We just didn't release a video with an hour and a half of us. I'm going to do that eventually, is we're going to release a 4-hour long video, and it's just going to be branch footage.
I do try to look up more though, especially since we got that the swinging creature footage.
Dewey, I have not had a chance to watch it yet. We have been literally running full tilt. I have got a message from our mutual friend Kyle here that I have been trying to listen to all day long that has gone unlistened to. I will try to watch it this evening, maybe before I get to bed. All right, let's see here.
Well, everybody's telling me to put vapor rub on my feet. I'm going to do that.
On your what?
On my feet.
On your feet?
And put some socks on. Everybody's attesting to it. I'll try it. I'll do anything right now because I can't miss this weekend. So
yeah. what we captured swinging in the trees still freaks me out. I'm intrigued. That has been such a source of, I don't know. I dismissed it, and then I saw some of the slowed down still footage that some people did, and I'm going, that's weird. I don't know what it is. But we have had more people get upset with us over that than just because we were going, this looks weird. What do people think? And just that was the most controversial thing we have ever done, I think. Well, that and a couple other things. But that one seemed to just really
the jumper really divided.
Jumper gate.
There was a lot of different camps there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we're wrapping it up a few minutes early tonight because Jesse is ill.
Jesse's dying.
Jesse is dying, apparently. So if you got anything and you think it's worthwhile and good, throw it out now. This was a very interactive show tonight. We did not come with prepared topics. So y'all are carrying the show. What else you got?
Congratulations.
Everyone. So
you're doing a good job.
You guys are doing an amazing job tonight.
Oh God. Yeah. I feel like every week we have like another weird problem. Do you think
bad luck accompanies this stuff, and it just flat out does?
Do you think it's the thing?
It's probably the thing. So
I don't want to go back to Georgia.
We're not going back to Georgia.
So we're just gonna ride this. We're gonna ride this wave.
We're gonna ride it until it goes. So anyway,
we were kind of talking about all of this hitchhiker effect stuff, and we're like, okay, all right. So we had the trees fall. Get at that. We were okay. We escaped major damage. We're okay. So maybe it's all right. And then yesterday, I wake up and I'm sick as a dog. I have to go to urgent care. I have bronchitis. I'm like, okay, maybe this is just completely normal.
All just coincidence and happenstance.
Yeah.
Yeah. But also too, you have been under a lot of stress, and that alone can wear your system down. So anyway.
We say, yes, we will do that. But then we have a totally epic investigation coming up this weekend that we are going to be going balls to the wall for. So
keep your notifications on, because when we're in the home stretch and it's too late for anybody to mess with us,
we will
and
probably,
if we've got signal, we might try to stream. I don't know.
Yeah, we might try to stream. So because it's you guys are going to be so excited.
Yeah,
we
got some crazy stuff planned up for it. If there's anything there to catch, and anything there to record, we're going to record the absolute hell out of it. It's going to be amazing.
So we're taking all of our equipment.
We're doing a full spectrum, just everything under the sun.
Full data collection.
So,
we're going to be taking EMFs. We're going to take the Geiger. We're going to take everything.
Like
infrasound.
Batteries, SD cards showing up all week, so we can just run it. It's going to be crazy. The video and audio and evidence review portion of it is going to take like couple of weeks probably to get through all that stuff. So,
well, you can do a lot of that review because I got some manner stuff to be doing.
Some manner stuff. So.
Manner stuff.
All right, guys, we're gonna wrap it up. Thank you guys so much for joining us tonight.
Sorry, I had a cough and a gravelly voice today, but you know how it is. We appreciate you guys being part of this show, and you guys are doing a great job. But oh God, they're already preparing for my untimely death. Look at this. But thank you guys so much. It's just an excuse to make joking. He carries everything anyway. That's my mule, my love, my rock. But thank you guys for joining us.
Keep your notifications on for this weekend, just in case.
Yeah. I'm gonna go make some hot tea, get some rest, and then we keep an eye out, keep your notifications on, and we will hopefully see y'all later. And are you running that? There we go. All right. Thanks, guys. Have a great evening.
Take us on out.
Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other.